Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm a counsellor, and in this video I would like to talk about what healthy levels of narcissism are. So we can have two types of unhealthy narcissism. One is when someone is concerned with their own needs primarily, and that's people with narcissistic personality disorder. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have people with too low levels of narcissism. And these are people who might be codependent or they are people pleasers. And the healthiest place to be is somewhere in the middle of this. And that's what we're going to look at in this video. So let's go to my website, childrenofnarcissists.org.uk, and have a look at an article there, which is called Healthy Narcissism versus Unhealthy Narcissism. So let's go and have a look. Narcissism originally begins as a response in childhood to developmental issues. Both nature and nurture are influential in the early years in setting up the personality. Elements of narcissism are needed in the development of a healthy personality. Narcissism forms the basis of self-esteem, which enables people to feel deserving of and to achieve their ambitions in terms of work, relationships, and other personal goals. Healthy narcissism is experienced as confidence and a sense of well-being. It is concerned for the self and others and sees both the needs and wants of the self and those of others as having a similar value. It is respect for the self and others. When the narcissistic aspect of the personality is out of balance, it can lead to either low or high levels of narcissism. At one end of the spectrum, we have pathological narcissism, which becomes concerned with the needs of the self above all others. Their behaviour is self-centred and the needs of others are disregarded. They become entitled and grandiose and will attempt to control those around them as they coerce the environment through anger to resonate with their needs. They want admiration and recognition of their uniqueness and specialness. At the opposing end of the spectrum, we have low levels of narcissism, which result in the individual putting the needs of others above their own and seeing little value in themselves. They may become chronic people pleasers and are out of touch with their own wants and needs. They may struggle to stand up for themselves and may accept being treated badly in relationships as they do not feel they deserve to be loved and accepted for themselves. So this is really interesting. And a lot of people who have narcissistic parents will tend to become people pleasers, especially the scapegoat children. And also another factor here is that many people want to be the opposite of their narcissistic parent. So then by design, this is going to mean that you're going to be a people pleaser who's selfless rather than selfish. And some people can be repulsed when they see narcissistic traits in themselves because it does remind them of the parent. And this is the absolute antithesis of how they want their own character to be and their personality to be. But then this means that they're not getting their own needs met. So let's have a look then at what healthy narcissism looks like. People with low levels of narcissism are going to have the following characteristics. They're going to feel inadequate, unworthy, and unlovable. They'll put their own needs last. They'll have low self-esteem. They'll feel undeserving. They'll be submissive. They'll feel overly responsible for themselves and for other people as well. They give to others and they hope for recognition through this. They tend to not stand up for themselves and they can feel like they're a servant to others. People with pathological levels of narcissism are going to be self-centered, lacking in empathy. Their levels of narcissism are based in a fantasy, and this protects them from the underlying feelings of humiliation and shame that they have. They have very fixed and rigid defenses. They idealize themselves and then sometimes other people in the beginning of relationships. They tend to do that before it goes into the devaluation stage. They're grandiose, they're entitled. They coerce others through anger into resonating with their needs. So this is narcissistic rage. They take from others and they refuse to take personal responsibility for anything. So you're unlikely to see them saying, sorry for anything or being remorseful. So the healthy place to be is in the middle of these two. If you have healthy levels of narcissism, you're going to balance the needs of yourself with the needs of others. You're going to have your view of yourself and others based in reality rather than in a fantasy. You'll be assertive. You'll be confident and self-aware, and you know what your needs are because you're more in touch with your authentic self. You'll be independent. You'll compromise, give and take, and you'll have a sense of well-being, so you'll have a sense of being comfortable in your own skin. And this is ideally where we'd all like to be, so it's good to know this information because then we can look at the narcissism in ourselves in different ways and perhaps change our perception of it so that we know that there is a healthy level to have and we don't want to reject that part of ourselves that might remind us of a narcissistic parent. So I hope the information in this video was useful to you. If you'd like to, you can go to my website, which is childrenofnarcissists.org.uk, and there's lots of information there about what narcissistic personality disorder is, what traits they have, and what effects they have on their children. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.